Okay. Good evening, everybody. Dugo David is my name. Welcome to our chapters talk on starting and scaling your business. Our speaker for today is one of our own, ex-JAM, Walter Okoye Ikenna. It's 85 sets ex-JAM. He has had several years of experience. Sorry, I'm just going to read this off the top of my head. That's several years of experience, primarily as a builder and in running a business. But I know at the moment he is part of a group. Sorry, let me just get the right name. ABC Consultants. Okay, he's part of a group called ABC Consultants. They provide business mentoring and consulting services for startups and small or medium businesses. So our hope now is leveraging on his knowledge, he'll be able to share from us and would hopefully use this as a base to be able to nurture or start a hub for business owners within the chapter. Please, I would also encourage everyone, even while we are listening, you can still forward the link to your mates, people you know who have businesses within our community, so we can have maximum effect. At the end of this presentation, we'll try to get the contacts of all the businesses or business owners here. So we'll add you. The chapter has been trying to put together a group for business owners, so we'll be able to actually interact with you directly and planned specialized training for that particular group of members. So without much ado, let me hand over the floor to him so our guy can continue. Thank you very much, sir. That's all.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to appreciate the Exxon family. I'd like to appreciate the Abuja Exxon family, especially for the privilege to be able to share this today. And I'm glad that um, a lot of us are here to listen and learn. Like you mentioned, I'm an architect. I've been doing construction for a number of years, for over 25 years. And I've run a construction business for some time. And then at some point, I also started doing business trainings. I attended a few courses and got a few certificates. And I've always had a passion for business, even from when I was in secondary school. That's in school. And I started training people, and a lot of people, hundreds of people, to be honest, have been able to pass through some of the trainings we've held and have started their own businesses and are doing very well. And we've taken these trainings to schools, taken it to youth organizations, we've taken it to religious organizations, we've taken it to businesses, established businesses, and we've gotten a lot of reviews, good reviews. And I'll be sharing some of those things with us today. And some you've heard, some you've not heard before. Take down what you've heard and then afterwards review them and you can ask questions. I believe that after this we'll have a session for questions. So that will help us to fully take on everything that we need to take on. All right, so without further ado, today I'll be sharing on starting and scaling your business, unlocking wealth in a depressed economy. And I particularly chose this topic because a lot of time we're in a situation where things aren't really working as we hope, as we are hoping that they are working in our country. I'll start by defining what a depressed economy is. A lot of these things we can identify with. I'm sharing my screen, so you can actually I sent a slide earlier, but that's just like a summary of what I'm going to be sharing. And this is more elaborate. So, a business definition of a depressed economy is an environment where businesses face shrinking demand, rising costs, reduced profitability, declining investments, and increased uncertainty. Now, these things are not, we're not being political here, regardless of the party that has been in power. Nigeria has been going through this for a very long time. And when I was much younger, it intrigued me how, in spite of the economy, I mean, all of us that are my age or a little younger than I am, we've never really had an economy that was really thriving. Maybe just for a few years, it really worked. But for a long time, we've had more or less a depressed economy. And in the midst of all that, we've had a lot of companies, a lot of businesses, a lot of wealth being generated in our environment. And it made me always wonder why um, a lot of people complained about things not working. Because, if you are someone that thinks like I do, I always see the cup half empty. I kept seeing opportunities. I kept seeing things people could do. I kept seeing there were things that people from out of the country were coming in to take advantage of in our country, and they were doing well. And it wasn't just motivation. I'm not into motivation. I really go into research to find out what's actually working. I've traveled around the country. I've traveled to even the local areas of this country, parts of the east, parts of the west, parts of the north. I've been to a lot of places. I've been all over this country. I've gone to rural areas, I've gone to urban city centers, and I've seen that these principles actually work. And there are things that you can do to actually begin to create well. We're a blessed nation. We have so much potential. We have so much that is even ahead of us. And in spite of our poor leadership, there's so much that can be accomplished. One of the things that inspired me many years ago when I was in Lagos, I used to, when you cross the Falomo Bridge, as if you are going towards the Bar Beach area, I grew up in Lagos, and there was this building on my left. When you just cross the bridge, heading down, there's this building on my left. You'll not turn right towards Ozumba and towards Lekki area, just keep going straight. And I kept asking my questions. What's that building for? This was during the military era. And because it was a very large building, it was very beautiful. I'm an architect, I always like looking at lovely buildings. And I kept asking, who owns this building? It wasn't used. You could see that it was completed and it was shut down. And it had towers and a lot of seeming tech infrastructure around it. And I was fascinated by the structure, but I was wondering why nobody was using it. So I kept asking questions. My sister was into cell network. She used to sell, they called it Not 9 Not in those days. So we did a little investigation and found out that that building was actually owned by a young businessman called Michael Adenuga. And he had set up the first switch in the country in that building in a military era. And there was no permit for GSM networks in our country at that time. But this man had seen ahead of time and had created the first switch and had built it and had equipped it and had closed it, waiting for when they will start giving licenses for global network for GSM networks, and he was going to be among the first people that are going to take it. That's why when they just came out, I didn't know I was more than prepared. I don't know whether it's coincidentally, I was there working in a construction company called Kaches, and we're working directly with Adenuga. What we are doing, first of all, we started building his filling stations. I was very involved in that project from Aba to Port Harcourt to parts in Abuja to Kaduna to Kano. But the ones that are outfitting or renovating his filling station when he bought Cornell. And then he now started Globacom. And we started working with his switches. We started working with his main office. The main office here in Abuja was among the people that got there and took measurements and planned to do the renovations and all of that. And I saw that this man was more than ready. He was actually ahead of his time when it came to business. And I started asking myself, in spite of the depressed economy, in spite of things going wrong, in spite of things being upside down, we're in a military regime, this guy was able to see opportunity when there was darkness. And that's why I suddenly realized that where problems exist, and I mean a lot of problems, is also coincidentally where a lot of opportunities exist. When you go abroad, yes, opportunities exist there, but you discover that lots of people that are jackbuying are going there because they want to plug into an already existing system and work in those systems and earn wages. And sometimes they earn very good money. But you see that place where you can actually begin to explore, build things, start businesses, expand, grow, scale. It's all available in our country. And that's the reason why a lot of foreigners are coming into our country on a daily basis. I went to Ogun State the other day and I drove past where they where they have factories, and I was just shocked. If you know the amount of small scale industries, micro businesses, informal businesses in our country that are making hundreds of millions of naira clean, it will shock you. In the same depressed economy, I began to study and began to find out what are the things that people can do in spite of the government, in spite of failure of leadership, in spite of, yes, of course, with the best leadership, you will be able to achieve more, but you can still achieve a measure of results, even where we are. A depressed economy is an environment where businesses face shrinking demand, rising costs, reduced profitability, declining investments, and increased uncertainty. In simple terms, a depressed economy is a period where money becomes harder to earn, harder to keep, and harder to multiply. Many of us can relate with this. In practical Nigerian terms, the depressed economy is when salaries remain the same but expenses double. Thankfully, the government is trying to do that in the public sector, but most private organizations are not even increasing their salaries. So that is part of the depressed economy. Businesses work harder but earn less. Even if you're earning as much as you're earning 5 years ago, you're earning less because the value of the currency has even dropped. Families spend more on necessities and less on investments. People focus on survival rather than growth. What does it do to us as people? It creates financial pressure, especially for us men. Common symptoms include debt accumulation, reduced savings, delayed investments, lifestyle adjustments. We are all experiencing it. We're all on this table. Career instability, emotional and psychological stress. This is something that we are all without exception experiencing. 1 second, please. Just 1 second. I'm trying to get back to. I went out mistakenly. I'm trying to share my screen again. I don't know why it's not sharing.
Okay. Yeah, so it's showing shared here.
I don't know. I'm not seeing there.
Okay.
Let me try and get it on my screen. Aha. All right. So there's a relationship between, of course, poor economy with our anxiety, with depression, and all of that. Let me first mention 5 strategies to get out of an economic depression. And then we'll focus on the one, which is starting business. So the first one, how do you get out of an economic depression? How do you get out of all this low income, not earning enough, and all of that? The first thing you do is to get money in. I'm going to share 5 strategies, and I'm going to focus on one. Get money in. One of the things I tell people now to do is to earn in foreign exchange. I'm going to share something after the trainings on. I did a training a couple of weeks ago for an organization in Abuja, and I just did a summary of how to begin to do remote work, about 12 steps or so on how to immediately get into the remote market. You need to get money in. Even nations do this. Even communities do this. When there's a depression in a community, in a village, in a country, in a state, what you do is to get money in. And a lot of times, the kind of money you get in is the one that has more value than the one that is in the system. So get money in and in foreign exchange. Do anything you can do to get remote work, to get into exports, to get into foreign exchange trading, to get into crypto trading, commodities trading, to get grants. And amazingly, a lot of these things are happening even now. I just wonder why people are not even exploring it. As I'm talking to you now, in spite of my doing trainings, in spite of my mentoring people, in spite of my doing construction, in spite of my doing building, and I'm still very involved in this. I'm traveling to on Tuesday to Owerri for construction. I was in Bida the other day. I was in Lafayette the other day. I was in Jos. I'm doing a project in Jos. I'm doing projects in Lagos. I'm doing a lot of things in Anambra, all over the place. But I still have found out some time to do remote work, to earn some fun kind of foreign exchange. And it's not as difficult as many people think. Whenever people think remote job, they think about tech. Tech is just an aspect of remote work. There's so many things. In fact, there's almost nothing that is like work that is not being done remotely. From talking to people, to giving counsel, to teaching, to help people to understand English, to data analysis, to even tech itself, to executive assisting, to office administration, to so many things, to customer service, to social media management. There's so much, and you can actually determine your hours of work in most of those areas. So the first thing to do to get out of an economic depression or a depressed economy is to bring money into your system. Earn in foreign exchange. Earn in foreign exchange. Get into remote work. Get into understanding exports. And one of the things we organize when we start this our business things is to go to Nigerian Export Promotion Council, go to AFCTA office, the Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement Summit office, and find out how we can begin to take advantage of the things that have been given to us. Because it's not as difficult as you think. A lot of people think that these things, the cartel runs it, it's not going to work, government is not doing anything. You'll be surprised how many people are taking advantage. This happened during COVID. During COVID, everybody was saying there's no money. Government was saying they're going to release grants to people and loans and all that. Everybody was saying government is a failure. Instead of focusing on the things that are not possible, why don't you just have some faith? And I got into some things and I started applying for these things. And before I knew what's happening, I got close to $500,000 naira as a grant from the government, free, during the COVID period. Just because I believed that these things were available and the government was preaching it, but nobody was believing it. So get money in. Earn in foreign exchange. Do some form of remote work. It can be 2 hours of your time. Thankfully, we have different time zones with them. So you can close work from whatever you're doing now and then earn a little more money in the evenings. A friend of mine is earning this. She started this thing 2 years ago, and you will not believe that she started just as simply. She was earning 150,000 naira in an office doing nothing. She told me that she hated business. She was not interested. I just encouraged her to get into this. She started doing this remote work. She got one of the opportunities in about 3 months or 6 months after applying for them. She started earning in foreign exchange. I'm telling you that 1 year after she started this business, she and her husband traveled to Qatar for a holiday, to Doha for a holiday. They are building their own house right now in the airport road area. They're building actually 2 houses in Doha. They have so much. I mean, there's not so much, but you can see that their life has completely turned around. These are people that were asking for 20,000 naira, 10,000 naira to make ends meet, and I was sending them this money. Right now, they are sponsoring things. They have several cars to their name. They are buying properties. The husband has gotten into real estate, all because they started. She has now scaled her remote work. She has people working under her that she's paying salary in 250, 300,000. This was 2 years ago. The best time to start anything is now. It's not late. So the first thing to do to get out of an economic depression is get money in. And one of the ways I recommend is to do remote work, do exports, do foreign exchange, do crypto trading, do commodity trading, get grants. A friend of mine trains people on how to get, you can get grants for anything in this world. I can share links to her WhatsApp group so you can actually join after this session. So it's just about thinking. There are things to do. There are things, there are opportunities, but you just have to just look for them. To get money, you must rethink your existing income and begin to think about rethink your career path. Rethinking your career path is important here, either temporarily or permanently. Temporarily means I can get a remote job and add to what you're existing, what you're doing currently, or you just take that route completely and create a business for yourself, an office for yourself where you are basically just doing remote work. I have a number of people. I have so many people that are doing this. A friend of mine started this remote work about 3 months ago. As I talk to you now, she's in the United States. They selected her for a course in the UN, and she's there right now. She left last week. It's so unbelievable how these things can just change your life. Number 2 way to get out of an economic depression is by starting a new business. I'm not going to emphasize, I'm not going to say anything on this now because that's what we're going to share in over time. The 3rd way is to investigate your existing business. Think out of the box. Look at what you're doing currently. You're a business person. Think out of the box. Identify additional streams from your existing business, a minimum of 3. For example, if you are into construction, can you sell building materials? Can you train people in construction? What are the 3 things you can extrapolate from your existing business and begin to do that is not part of what you're doing right now? Everything that has been, there's the minimum thing any business can do is 3 things. Any business at all. The minimum any business can expand itself to, I said the minimum is 3. Sometimes you can expand an existing business to 7, you can expand it to 12. But begin to look at your business and find out if this thing I'm working on now is not really making money, what can I add as an additional stream to it? If you're into fashion, can you sell materials? Can you begin to do modeling? Can you create a blog on fashion? Can you begin to teach people on how to dress, on personal grooming? Everything, a minimum of 3 can be created from it. If you are into accounting, can you begin to sell accounting books? Can you train people on ICANN? Can you go into school and start teaching students on accounting prior to their going? There's so many things you can do, but the minimum you can do for any business is 3. The next thing I mentioned here is that you need to become innovative. You need to get innovative. That's in product placement. Look at, for example, what you are doing and ask yourself, maybe what I'm doing is not working well. How do I make it even to sell better? I mentioned here in product placements, in packaging and advertising and all of that. I call this sachet revolution, because that's what many companies in Nigeria did. You might abuse them. This part also part of investigating your existing business. Look at how to even place your products differently. A survey was carried out in Nigeria, and they discovered that even though we had a lot of people in this country, but the purchasing power was low. A foreign company came into Nigeria. He was representing large companies abroad that wanted to come and establish business here. And they came in and they said, look, Nigerians are plenty. We boast about our size. But the problem is that their disposable income is very little. Did they run away because there was no opportunity for them? No. They said, how can we, in spite of the seeming situation, still make money from this economy? And they started creating everything in sachets. That's why you see it now. You have Bama in sachet. You have Milo in sachet. You have Quaker Oats in sachet. You have custard in sachet. You have biscuits in smaller sachet. You have Omo in sachet. You might look at it and say, hey, just a sign that Nigerian is not able to earn. Yes, true. But everywhere there is a problem, there's always opportunity. So begin to look around you. Are there things you can do to your products to place them differently, to package them differently, to advertise them differently? Is there something you can do different from what you have been doing since that will help to take your business even further up? The 4th thing to do to get out of an economic depression is to reposition yourself for organization. It's better to be a captain in an army of 1,000 than to be a general in an army of 10. So look at your organization. Is it time to sell that business? Is it time to subsume your business into a bigger business? Is it time to close down your shop and go and work for somebody? So many people like the title of I'm CEO. You run this small business and you're not doing anything. I mean, why don't you just shut down? In a time where there's a depression, sometimes you need to say, look, let me shut down this thing and keep it in view. Let me go and work for somebody else. Let me take this, my business, hand it over to somebody and say, look, sir, buy this business. I have machines, I have these tools. I'll be working under you. But you take over this business. That's nothing to do when there's a depression. When there are things that are not working in the economy, you can actually take on a smaller destination in a large organization. You can subsume yourself, your organization into a partnership. You can say, for example, this is my business I've been running for years. Let me bring in extra financing. My friend was running an oil business in Lagos where she does luxury oils, cosmetics, luxury oils, from coconut oil to different oils, and she wasn't doing very well, of course, with the depression in the economy. And she has been struggling. And then she came to meet me and said, look, she needs to do something. We talked about it, and she eventually got a partner to partner in her business. And a lot of things changed. I mentioned here that it will take unlearning, learning, and relearning your old roles and new responsibilities. She eventually got someone to take it. The name had to change. The name of the business had to change. They had to, the sharing formula had to change. The structure of the business had to change. But the amazing part? The minute you plug into this business in a partnership, everything starts beginning to grow. Because partners bring in new ideas. They bring in new money. They bring in new customers, new relationships. They bring in new perspective to doing things. And all of a sudden, she was no longer the CEO. She was probably now the COO, or she was probably the MD, and someone took over the business. But they are making much more money than when she was the general, the principal consultant, the CEO, the everything. It's better a lot of times to be a captain in an army of 1,000 than to be a general in an army of 10. In a depression, sometimes we evaluate your business and say, is it time to sell my business, work under somebody? Is it time to partner with somebody to begin to make money, to grow my business? These are the things you begin to ask yourself when you want to get out of an economic depression. The next thing you need to do, the 5th one I'll mention here, is when there's an economic depression, get back to the basics. So people are practicing this now, but not the way they should. Get back to the basics. That's the earth. The earth is a business opportunity in things like agriculture, in things like mining, in things like real estate, which is what people are doing right now, in things like those three things, in agriculture, in mining, in real estate. But people are only concentrating on three aspects of this. I mentioned there are about 7 things, 7 value chains in all of these things, in any earth business. Earth business, I mean agriculture, I mean mining, I mean real estate. About 7 of them, 7 value chains. The first one is production. Whether real estate, whether mining, whether agriculture, production. Then there's processing. So it's one thing to I produce. In my house, for example, where I live right now, I'm experimenting on production. I've done it before. I've planted sweet potatoes and I made a lot of money. I've planted corn. I've planted some things because I saw a client of mine. I built a farm for him in Kaduna and I built my 3 warehouses and I built a major farm. We have the plantation. We have apples. We have mangoes. We have so much in that place. We have cows. He has cows, he has chickens, he has goats, he has turkey, he has a lot of stuff. And I saw the opportunity in agriculture. It is amazing how much you can make from agriculture. It's amazing if you get it right. It's risky, but of course, in everything, when there's a higher risk, there's a higher reward. So there's production, there's processing, there's logistics, there's research and development, there's sales, there's marketing, there's technology. All of these things I mentioned, all the agriculture, there's production. In mining, there's production. In mining, there's processing. In mining, there's logistics. In mining, there's research and development. In mining, there's sales and marketing. In mining, there's technology. In real estate, there's production. There's processing. There's logistics, even in real estate. There's research and development. There's sales and marketing. Look at real estate, for example. Some people are not selling any houses. All they are doing is just marketing houses. They come up, they are influencers, they take a particular project in Lagos or wherever, and they talk about it. They go into the house, they are shouting. We all know some of them. They just go run on the floor, run around, making noise, showing the video. Those guys do not have any houses, but they understood that real estate had different opportunities inside the same real estate. You don't have to be producing a house. You don't have to be building. You don't have to be doing design. You don't have to be the one that's organizing, buying all the cement and the block and organizing the trucks and moving the materials. You don't have to do all of that. You have just to do the sales and marketing. And there's so much money that is there. There's even the tech aspect of real estate that people are not even exploring. The man that owns Promised Land in Nigeria is just touching it now, where he's creating an app called the Wealth app, where people can actually invest and begin to see their investments from the app. He's touching the technology aspect of real estate. Many people have not gone there. Many people are not even talking about mortgage and how can you begin to even do mortgage in terms of in our housing system. There's so much opportunity in all these areas. So 5 strategies to get you out of economic depression. I mentioned the first one, get money in remote work, tech, sales of stock, sales of commodities, exports, foreign exchange. The second one I mentioned is start a business. I'm going to go into that right now. And I talked about investigating your existing business, think out of the box, identify additional streams for an existing business, you'll be innovative in product placement and packaging. The fourth one I mentioned is reposition yourself an organization. Is it time to get a partner? Is it time to sell your business? Is it time to take on a smaller role in a bigger space? And the fifth one I mentioned here, if you want to deal with an economic depression, if you want to earn more money, if you want to get out of the rut you are in, is to get back to the basics: agriculture, mining, and or real estate. Now, reasons why you should start a business today. Number one, I mentioned it earlier, a depressed economy. We've talked about it before. Scarcity of jobs, over competition for few positions, you're earning less and all of that. We've mentioned that earlier. 2, the advent of AI. This has not even begun to happen to many of us, but watch out, AI is coming and a lot of people are going to be affected. AI is going to take over. AI is providing solutions to the things you are doing now. Some of the things we are doing now, AI is going to provide better solutions to them. So you begin to start asking yourself the question, in the next 5 years, is what I'm doing going to still be relevant? I asked myself that question a couple of months ago, and I began to make adjustments. I was telling someone that I'm doing things now in preparation for 5 years' time, because the truth is that you don't do things when they're already happening, when there's already a problem. That's fire brigade approach. When you see it ahead, begin to prepare for it now. The advent of AI is the reason why many of us should start a business today. 3, the global disruption. Do you know that all the things happening right now, from wars to pandemics to all of that, do you see that all of those things are creating opportunities for us to do business? Ask yourself the question, what is the war in the Middle East? What are the opportunities opening up for me here in Nigeria? Look at what happened during COVID. The app we're using now to do our business, it was always existing before COVID, but it blew
during COVID because they position themselves in preparation for an opportunity. Anytime there is a global disruption, either in terms of medical pandemics or wars or even social media is a global disruption. There are opportunities for new entrants that are created. Global connections are now available through innovative communications channels. So you need to ask yourself, what are these global disruptions doing for my business? Look, I'm not talking about whether it's right or wrong. I'm not saying that a lot of things are wrong about so many things that are happening. But the fact of the matter is that almost every big business that has been started, from car manufacturing to planes to the technology we're using today, to mobile phones, to the kind of food processing that we're taking advantage of today, to all of them were created, most of them during wartime. This way we preserve food, we keep food for long hours. The way we do our cars, the way we do our vehicles, the way we do our planes, the way we do almost all the technology we use today was created in a time of crisis. Global disruptions and interruptions create opportunities for new entrants. Why should you start your business today? Number 4, unusual time to start. This is an unusual time to start. Many people are not looking at it. Many people are asking questions. Oh, is it time to start a business? I shouldn't be discussing this. It's the wrong time to start a business. Look, the more unusual it is for you to start a business, the better it is for you to start, because things are more affordable then. I was telling someone in my training, or I did a recording today, and I said, look, rich people know that there's a chart that is here. If you look at it, you see it. I don't know if I can see it clearly here. Let me send my thing down. I mentioned, I don't know if you can see it, NIU, INU, IU. This is something that was, I didn't develop this myself, but it's something that has been existing for a long time. The first one, I'm trying to get my slide in, 1 second. What's the first one? I can't really see it here. The second one is NIU. David, what's the first one there? I can't really see it. This thing is blocking me.
The NINU.
All right. Not important and not urgent. There are 4 quadrants. Not important and not urgent is the first quadrant. The next one is not important and urgent. The next one is important and not urgent. The fourth one is important and urgent. Live your life in that third one, important and not urgent. That's where the money is. If you can do things that are important now, but they are not urgent, that's where you'll make the most of money from, the most of wealth from. Learning AI, for example, is not urgent now, but it's important. Go for it. Starting businesses now, when everybody is jackpotting, is not urgent, but it's important. It doesn't seem like something you should immediately start doing, but it's important. That's when you should go for it. For younger people, investing, it doesn't seem like it's urgent, but it's important. I tell people when I'm sharing about investments, it's time for you to do it. If you live your life in the quadrant where you are doing things that are important, but those same things are not urgent, that is where the money is. So begin to act, just like Adenuga did. When he bought all those equipment in Nigeria, when it was not urgent, so he got it cheaper. Nobody was looking at investing in Nigeria. It was a waste of time. There was no GSM license. The man built all of that. By the time they gave licenses and people started bringing equipment to Nigeria, of course it was expensive, because people will take advantage of you when you are in a hurry, when it's the fire brigade approach. He built some of those switches long before there were licenses for GSM, so that when eventually they gave licenses, he just keyed into the system and began to operate as fast as he could. Live life in that quadrant. Do things that are important but are not urgent. Starting a business is one of the things you should do now. The 5th reason why you start a business today is because of the advancement in tech and logistics and how it is aiding in creating multiple streams of income. We've never had such advancement in technology, in logistics advancement than we have at this time. Logistics has evolved. Cheap and innovative transportation, etc., is advancing at breakneck speeds. You can see something on Alibaba, you can order for it in how long? There are so many logistics companies. Even look around you. Nigeria has even expanded in logistics, from the motorcycle to this bike logistics. There's so many people. If you know the amount of business that is taking place every day because of the advancements in our logistics arrangements, it will shock you. Goods are moving right under our noses, from food to fashion to medical care to drugs. It will shock you how much is going on. Take advantage. To look at technology. Everybody is doing what's it called again? This apps, a fintech. Everybody's going into opening shops online. Everybody's opening. I'm working on an app right now for one of the things I'm doing for my business, a construction business, where we are going to tie our construction. You come online. I'm discussing with the developers right now. When you come online and you can actually order for a product, design it by yourself on screen, and then we can have a full discussion with you, everything, and you pay online without ever visiting that site. That's how far technology has gone. That's the reason why you start your business now. Tech tools enabling the ability to do multiple things at the same time with less errors. You can be a master of a lot of things now. They say in those days, you're a master of, you do a lot of things, you're a master of none. That thing is changing now with technology. You can be a master of a lot of things. Diversification is cheapest now. The next reason why you start a business now is because the political will of government. Look at so many, I mentioned this earlier, from the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement to SEPA, that between Nigeria and Dubai, that was signed sometime this year, to AGAO between Nigeria and US, that was signed during Obama's time, to ETLS, the one that is in ECOWAS, to Nigeria, UK, EU. Look, there's so much. One of our ex-jam in my set, he's exporting sesame seed. This guy is making millions of naira, multi-millions, taking advantage of some of these things that were bilateral agreements that are done between Nigeria and some of these countries. This is the reason why you should start your business now. Let me just go on to the next one. Hindrances to immediate startup. Why do we balk when we talk about business? What are the things that make us say, why should we start our business? Why is it important? Number one is the fear of failure. Some thoughts on failure. Failure is learning, not losing. Learn to fail forward only. If you fail, if you fall down, it's just a lesson. It's not that you've lost anything. Stop being afraid of failure. Everybody that's tried something great has failed. Everybody, including Dangote. Stop being afraid. Oh, if I start this thing, will I fail? If you don't start it, you will never know whether you will fail or not. So why don't you just start? When I was working in my former organization, before I started my own business, all of us were there talking about how we would eventually leave this place, how we'll grow, how we'll do this. But none of us was taking the step. And so we're all there. And before you realize it, 1 year has passed, 2 years have passed, 3 years have passed. And trust me, your energy level is reducing as you get older. Your ability to take risks is reducing as you get older. The best time to start anything is even now. Fear of failure has kept so many people from doing what they should do. Everyone that succeeded in anything once failed. Look at the food we eat. You know how many people died to give us what we're eating today? You now go into the market, you see yam, you eat it. You know that some people ate other roots that killed them before we realized that it was yam that was good to eat. The more the risk, the more the reward. Another reason why people are afraid of not starting business is ignorance. Ignorance of available opportunities, ignorance of how to start businesses, ignorance of how to obtain seed capital, ignorance of how to raise funds, ignorance of future trends and opportunities. The next thing is laziness, mental laziness. Entrepreneurship is first and foremost a mental activity. If you're someone that is lazy mentally, if you're someone that you don't take time to read, to study, to research, to explore, you might not do very well. But it's not as if you cannot. Everybody has a potential insight to be mentally alert. It's just a choice you make to refuse to learn, to refuse to study, to refuse to explore, to refuse to look at new things, to refuse to look at better way of doing things. Your mind is a muscle. You exercise your mind by reading, by exploration, by research, by developing things. Entrepreneurship, first and foremost, is a mental activity. If you are intellectually lazy, you can't do well in business. You must constantly be on your feet. There's nobody that is doing well today that is lazy. Nobody that is doing exceptionally well that is lazy. Even people that are doing Yahoo, to at the next level of Yahoo, they have to be very, I'm not encouraging Yahoo. I'm just saying that to achieve a zenith of your career or business, or to grow in your business, you must become mentally aggressive. Laziness is the number one reason many times I see why many people are not doing well in business. Even though they started a business, they are lazy. They're mentally lazy to improve that business, to build systems, to build structures, to go out there, to look at creative ways of marketing, to go abroad, to go to other places where people are doing things and find out how they're doing and bring them to their own environment. Laziness has crippled many people's businesses and has made them not even start the business in the first place. Look at physical laziness. We're all aware of what that is. Being the ability to, they say, oh, that, yes, even though there was something I saw on social media that they say you shouldn't sleep, businessmen don't sleep for so many hours, blah, 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 blah. It's the truth, though there's a balance. Sleep for a minimum of 7 hours. That is very healthy. Between 7 and 8 hours, between 6 and 8 hours, that's what you should sleep. But in the remaining 14 hours or 16 hours of your day, use it to do things that are going to give you profits. Stop pressing your phone. Stop looking at videos or memes. Or it makes me sad when I see grown-up adults always watching skits. What are you gaining? Are you a comedian? Are you going to do a business with it? What are you gaining from those things? If you are someone that does it because you are learning how to do your own skits, it's different. But if you're not, if you're just watching skits, you're opening your phone, you're laughing up and down. How is that benefiting you? You're pressing Instagram. You're not ready for things yet, though. You're not ready. You're not ready. Many people come to meet me and tell me, oh, I'm working too hard, or I push myself too hard. In my estate, I'm one of the ex-cos. They say, oh, you never have time for us to sit down to have a chit chat. I say, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. You're the same ones that come to me and tell me, can you borrow me 20,000, 100,000, 50,000? If I was not doing what I'm doing, will you be coming to meet me to ask for that kind of money? Can't you see that the reason why you're not experiencing those because you spend the time gisting, you're laughing, you're pressing your phone. Emotional laziness, that talks about developing proper attitudes, learning how to manage people, learning how to relate with people. I don't have time to share about this, but the times we are in now, for example, if you are subsuming your business as one of the strategies to get out of depression, if you don't know how to manage relationships, whether wealthy people or people that are your colleagues or people that are under you, you're not going to do well in business. Emotional laziness, where people don't develop their personalities to be able to manage relationships. And relationships are one of the roots of doing well in this life. You don't know how to manage people, you're not going to do well. And I mentioned here spiritual laziness. Nigeria, we're a very, 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 very spiritual country, which is very good. Take time to know your faith. The next thing, reason why people don't start immediately or don't start business is lack of ideas. There are about 6 ways to have ideas. I don't have time to share it now, but maybe if you reach out to me, I can share with you the 6 ways to generate business ideas. They're very straightforward. They're probably things you've not explored, but you can get ideas from those ways. The next reason why people don't start their businesses is lack of preparation and lack of training. People are not even trained for anything. People they refuse to be trained. Look, I don't care the age you are in now. If you need to change your business, if you need to take another career path, it's not late. This mentality of 60 being retirement is only an African thing. My sister is in the US. She entered the US when she was over 50. She totally transformed her career. She became a nurse and a healthcare worker. She's gotten her licenses and she's earning so much money at 55. You can start a new career path even at 60. You can. This idea that you are getting old is in your mind. When I see some of us, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we glory in our gray hair and we take it as pride, is good though, because God has blessed us to be that age. But if you have it and you're not earning money, then there's a problem. It is never late to choose a new career path. As long as your brain is active, as long as you have some strength in your bones, you can begin to do something new, and it's never late. I was somewhere where I saw a gentleman that was doing his BSc or is he his MSc, and he was about with his son. And they finished together. The father and the son did a PhD together. This father was about 70 something or 80. The son was in his early 40s. But the man finished the PhD with his son. It's your mind. Whatever you dream to achieve, you will achieve. All right, let's start fully. And I'll just run through this. We don't have so much time. How to start a business. Sorry? Someone saying something? All right. So how to start a business, how to start a business from where you, I'm going to run through this quickly because we don't have so much time anymore. how to start a business, I would like to share some stats with us so that we know that Nigeria has opportunity. There's so much ahead of us, you know, far more than what is behind us. Look at the GDP of Nigeria. I picked the BRIC countries, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, to show us, to compare some statistics. In GDP, I'll use them 2 countries in this list. Brazil's GDP, that's gross domestic product, is $2.31 trillion. Russia is $2.20 trillion. India is $4.27 trillion. And China is 19.53. South Africa is 418.05 billion. Nigeria's GDP is 377 billion. Compare that to Brazil. Brazil's GDP, a country that has, I'll show you the population of Brazil, so much less population than us. Their GDP is $2.31 trillion. Nigeria's GDP is 377 billion. Look at our population and number of corporations. In Brazil, they have 270 million people. They have 27.8 million corporations, that is businesses that are registered, minus the informal businesses, the ones that are registered. Compared to Nigeria, a country of 242 million people, our business registered at 3.1 million. The difference is too much. Can you see that there's a correlation between GDP and businesses that have been opened? Brazil, 217 million population. Corporation, 27.8 million. Nigeria, more population, 242 million. Corporations open 3.1 million. That is so sad. That is so sad. That is very sad. There's a relationship between education and the wealth of a nation. There's a relationship between businesses, small and medium scale businesses, and the wealth of a nation. Let us not let Chinese people come in here. Let's not have businesses in Nigeria we call Nigerian businesses, but half of them are being owned by Chinese, by Singaporeans, by South Africans, by people from Ghana. It's sad. We need to change that. Look at the entertainment business. Brazil, we celebrate our entertainment business. Brazil entertainment business is 50 billion turnover every year. 50 billion. You can check the stats out online. Nigeria, we celebrate our Nollywood, but we're 7.9 billion average. What are we doing? Entertainment talks about from box office to theaters to gaming to online entertainment to all of that, to marketing, to advertising, to everything you can do, to acting, to makeup, to everything that's connected to the entertainment business. Voice-over artists, recording artists, equipment sales for music, for videos, people that do videos, people that do entertainment, people that do directing, that editors, that so much potential. Brazil, 50 billion. Russia, 18 billion. China, 470 billion. South Africa, 16 billion. Nigeria, 7.9 billion. With all the noise we're making, which is good, we are still a far cry from the opportunity, for the potential we should have. 242 million people. Manufacturing sector, let's not even go there. Brazil, Brazil is about, what is it here? I can't really see it. Is it 11.1 or 1.1 trillion? Manufacturing sector. Russia, 67 billion. India, 502 billion. China, 5.6 trillion. South Africa, 105 billion. Nigeria, 25.5 billion. Right. Look at agribusiness. Brazil, 500 billion. Agribusiness. We have one of the most fertile soils in Nigeria. What are we doing? Most of the businesses that run in Brazil does not have such a good government. If you look at what's going on, you see that the president of Brazil was just removed that day. His election failed. America is pressurizing him. There's corruption in their system. Brazil has some of the worst corruption. I mean, we remember growing up as children where Brazil was owning the most debt in the world. So it's not about whether Nigeria has PDP or APC or NDP or ADC or LP, or in spite of their bad government. So stop making government your excuse. Think out of the box. Think creatively. We need to sit down and have a think tank on how we can do business in Nigeria in spite of the bad leadership. Because if you keep focusing on what is not working, you will never work on anything. Agribusiness turnover in Brazil, 500 billion. In Russia, 180 billion. With their war, this is with their war. These are 2025-26 statistics. 180 billion. Nigeria, 14.2 billion. Good weather, good sun, good rain. We manufacture fertilizer here. Cows everywhere to give us manure. You know, look at the organic food business in our country. How many people are doing it? I went to Jos the other day, last week. I was passing place. I said, how can we still be surviving on You say, oh, there is a crisis in this place, there is this. Yes, I know, but you can still make your way around it. Can you organize the small farmers there, make them into a cooperative, take what they're even selling at those rail junctions, and then package them? A lady friend of ours, an ex-Jaw, she started selling organic products. I was buying from her. I don't know why she stopped. There's so much opportunity. A friend of mine she's in Jos. She makes tea. I'm drinking one of her tea right now. Zobo, ginger, lemon, turmeric. Fantastic. And it's so cheap. 2,000 naira for a pack of about 10. And she's from Jos. The potential for agribusiness is so high. Brazil makes $500 billion. Nigeria makes 14.2 billion. Okay. Look at solid mineral sector. Brazil 56 billion. Nigeria has 14.2. Let's not even go to China. Look at solid mineral. No, solid mineral is 56 billion. Nigeria 40 million. South Africa 59 billion. Look at construction, my sector. That's the only place that will even be South Africa. Look at Nigeria's import bill. We import 6 million, that's 8.16 trillion naira worth of textiles into this country. We import 2.86 trillion naira worth of pharmaceuticals in this country. 4.6 trillion. I want that figure to sink in. 4.6 trillion naira worth of pharmaceutical products in Nigeria. We import it, imported. Look at flour. Why do you think Dangote is doing this? We're importing 2.7 trillion naira worth of flour into Nigeria. Honey. My friend of mine, a soldier in our country, is an ex-boy. His wife runs, they posted into somewhere in the north. He started in the middle of that heavy crisis, he and his wife started a honey business. They're sending honey to Kaduna, to Abuja, to the east. Igbo boy in the north. Honey, 2.7 trillion. We import 2.7 trillion worth of honey into this country. We import 2.04 trillion worth of milk into this country, as if we don't have cows. Sugar, with Dangote producing sugar, we are still importing 1.36 trillion. See the opportunities, there's still plenty. Go to the sugar factory that is near Niger State, see what they are doing there. And it's being run by foreigners. Why can't we see these things? Paper and paperboard, vegetable oil. Look at even salt. We're importing 81.6 billion naira worth of salt into Nigeria. Fruits and vegetables, we're importing 68 billion. And you can go on and on and on and on. You can see it there. So I listed all this for to say that there's opportunity. There's opportunity. It's just us seeing and beginning to put action to our words. So the first thing to do to start your business is, number one, document your vision. Document your values, document your ideas, document your goals. Think, I mentioned it earlier, entrepreneurship, business development is first a mental activity. Ideas, visions, values come first before capital and manpower. When people say, I need money to start my business, you don't need money first. You need an idea first. You need a vision first. You need a goal first. You need to have an understanding of what you even want to do first. You need to see, businesses are really providing solutions to problems. So we don't lack opportunity in this country. We have so much problems. I was talking to people in my estate the other day. I said, look, how can we put together money in our estate? Instead of going to buy transformer, do this, let us create a solar farm. Let us start doing this thing. Let us start producing electricity and selling to the neighboring community. And after I said that, people laughed at me. I thought I was just joking. Recently, the government said they can actually begin to sell excess electricity to the national grid. Why are we not thinking big things? Why did I think of that? Because a couple of years ago, I was running a business, a popcorn business. I've done some things in this life. I was selling popcorn in Otako Market. There was no light in Otako Market, no light at all. It was not connected to the national grid. For years, one gentleman got a generator inside Otako Market, 2 generators. He was the one supplying the whole of Otako Market lights, and they are paying him money like he was NEPA. The guy made a killing. He ran that thing for close to 5 years. I think he's even still there up to now. So it's ideas first. What can you begin to offer people? What problems are around you? What opportunities are you seeing that you need to be solved? There's problem everywhere. There's banking problem. People are thinking of how to save their money. We have so much money outside from the banking sector, outside from the formal banking sector. You are seeing it, people are talking about it, and you're just thinking, oh, CBN should mop it up. How can you take advantage of that money that's outside? Look at people that are going around doing isusu. Look at these people that are doing they're doing this thing called contribution. It's all over the place. How can you do it? Look at what Piggyverse did. It's still contribution. They formalized it and they're making money from it. Can somebody do it? Can a group of us in our organization, in XJAM, come together and say, let us do a savings scheme like Isusu, but a formal one that has a name? Get all of us that are inside XJAM to participate in it and make money from it. Because there's a problem in our financial sector. There's so many things to do. Look at food. I like what Piadi Farms is doing. We can do even more. We can partner with him. Look at lights. Look at security in our country. While people are seeing crisis and Boko Haram and kidnappers and all that, how many people are seeing opportunities? How many of we even have a military background? How many of us can set up a core construction, a security business, and we sell it? 5 of us come together, probably that are ex-soldiers. All of us have military experience. And begin to sell security services, both to companies, to individuals, to estates. You cannot just continue being the head of estate committee, security committee. That's not your role. You can make money from that thing. Set up a security company. Everywhere there's problem, there's opportunity. Look at water. Every house has borehole. How many boreholes are clean? How many people can begin to even sell things, get something from China, sell to every home a purification system that is very simple. Market it so people can begin. First of all, tell them the dangers of drinking just that water, that are bathing with it and all that. Show them the problems. There are opportunities. Everywhere there is problem, there's opportunity. Nigeria has a myriad of problems. Instead of complaining, instead of getting angry with Tinubu, instead of focusing on the government, instead of ask yourself, how can I cash out on these problems? Every day in MMIA, Murtala Mohammed International Airport, 29 flights from 29 countries coming to Nigeria. Flights from 29 countries coming to Nigeria. What are these people looking for in Nigeria? I built a house for a client that in Asokoro. The whole place is taken by Chinese. Chinese rented the place. If I tell you how much they pay for that place, it will shock you. And only Chinese people stay there. What are they doing in this country? They're mining. They're doing manufacturing. And many of us think they're doing big business. It's not true. A lot of them are doing small businesses. Chinese people, I told people many years ago, I said, by the time you start seeing Chinese people entering Keke in your country, you're in trouble. Because that means that they are low-income people have started competing with your people to do business. And that's what's happening in Abuja. It's happening in Lagos, happening in Port Harcourt, happening in Calabar. You see Chinese people living in small estates, renting the same kind of house they are renting, competing for the same space they are competing with. That is a danger. That shows you that they are even infiltrating those low entry-level businesses that you and I should take advantage of. Because they are more bold. Because they don't look at Nigeria in terms of tribe and a religion and culture. And they don't see those things that we see that hinder us from setting up businesses in some places. They don't see it. Nigeria is a blank landscape to them. All they see is opportunity. We see tribe. We see religion, we see community, we see culture, we see this. They don't see any of those things. They're just bold enough to enter. All this is opportunity. Where there are problems, there is opportunity. The first thing to do is think, what do you want to do? What problems do you want to focus on and solve? Write it down. Don't just leave it in your head. Write it down. Write it down. When people say, may Nigeria not happen to you, what triggers you? Is it anger? What is triggered? Is it anger? Is it sadness or is it solutions? Opportunities exist in Nigeria for skill. You know that excellence is an opportunity in Nigeria. Just doing the same thing everybody is doing, but doing it excellently. Integrity is a business opportunity in Nigeria. Integrity, these are things that are not even physical. Just delivering on time when you say you will deliver. Just being a straightforward person. Just being someone that does not steal. Someone that is loyal. It's an opportunity for business. It's a wealth opportunity in this country because of how things are. Meekness, conservation, innovation. These are all opportunities. Minus the other even hard things like farming, like ICT, like technology, like mining, like infrastructure, like services, like logistics. These are all the hard ones. Even these soft ones are opportunities for business in Nigeria. They're all problems. There's a problem with skill in Nigeria. A problem with the excellence. If people do anything, this they call it anyhowness, manage it like that mentality. There's a problem with integrity in this country. Everybody wants to scam you. Why don't we see it as an opportunity for business? There's a problem with meekness. Everybody wants to be a big man. Look at conservation. Look at our environment. There's so much opportunity. Look at innovation and adoption. Let's go on to the next thing. The first thing is thinking, creating ideas, writing your vision, writing down what you're thinking, writing down your ideas. The next step to starting your business is to plan. Break those ideas. I hope I'm writing some of these things down. I'll share. I'm not going to share this. I've shared the other one. Write down, plan, break down those ideas into phases. Then note where your resources are currently and match that phase. Start small. Think local. Or start local, but think global. You can start anything you want to do in this world where you are. That's one thing I've discovered. Anything. You have the resources already in your hands. It might not be money. It might be an idea. It might be a relationship. It might be someone that is next to you. But you have it. Trust me, if we just dig a little deep, we'll find it. Start where you are. Note where your resources are, whether it's people, whether it's your personality, whether it's money, whether it's your relationships. Those resources match a phase in your business and start. Attempt a bottom-up approach against a top-down approach. Break your large business idea down to meet your current financial development capacity. Then start there. Prepare a micro plan. Even if you don't have any money, you can do this. You have a phone. If you don't have a phone, you have a pen and paper. You have something. Write down your business until people see you burning. You cannot set any person on fire if you're not on fire yourself. You want people to loan you money for a business, but you can't convince them on that business. There's something wrong with your conviction. But when people see you're convicted, they're willing to invest. There are many people that are carrying money around. They're looking for where to place it. Everybody looking for how to make benefit, but they're not giving it to you because you have not convicted them. You're not yet on fire with that business idea. Create a micro plan showing your business opportunity viability, the finances needed at that identified phase, intended expenditure timelines, anticipated income timelines, registration plan, and this. I don't have the time. Let me quickly go to the next one. After that, the next thing you need to do is to develop your team. The first step is write your ideas, write your plans, write your values, write your vision, write down the opportunities that exist in the market for you, what you want to do, what you are trained to do. The next one is to plan, break them down into phases. Who is going to do what? When is it going to be done? What team is going to do it? Who is responsible for what? When am I going to achieve it? What are the goals for this 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years? Write down, get a business plan. The next thing after that is to develop your team. Determine your team players. People are going, sometimes your team is you. The first team you start with, first of all, is you. You're the manager, you're the human rights, you're the finance, you're the logistics manager, you're the driver, you're the cleaner. You can always start. Your first step is you. You can be everything initially with a mind of growing everything in future. So determine your team, your partners, your equity contributors, and what they're contributing. Put your corporate governance strategy into play. From the beginning, say to yourself, I'm going to run this thing like an international organization. I'm going to give this thing to my children. I'm going to create this business that when I even go, it's not going to die. If you start with an international mindset, even though you're starting local, that business would outlive you. So from the beginning, put your corporate governance strategy into play. If you want to know what corporate governance is, contact me later, I'll discuss it with you. But from the beginning, begin to ask yourself, am I going to run this business just like that, anyhow? Or am I going to have corporate governance, directors, managing director, executive directors, chairman of the board, and all of that? Even if you don't start having all of those people in place, but if you have it in your pen, in your paper, written down, trust me, they eventually come. Staff your business. Ask yourself, who are your subordinates? Who are those going to be learning from you? Who are those going to be your colleagues? Who are going to be? And I encourage you, once you start your business, no matter how small it is, please, 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 when you start your business, you need to be able to, when you start your business, you need to be able to start employing people. So I encourage you. The minute you start employing people, it makes you responsible. It makes you know that you cannot just let things to go. You cannot just allow anything to just go anyhow. You must, you must pay them salaries. You must create business. You must, every month, that it makes you very creative. So after that stage, the next step is to raise capital. Raise capital. I've mentioned about 15 ways to raise capital here. From personal savings to selling personal property. So money is very important, but it's not the first thing. If you notice, I mentioned about 3 stages before you get to money. Because many people create this problem for themselves before they even start. I need money, I need money, I need money. That's not the first thing. If they give you the money, if you've not planned, they give you the money if you've not identified an idea, they give you the money, you've not developed your team, they give you the money, that money will just disappear. Before getting any money, get those 3 things first in place. The next thing is raise your capital. Oh, how can I raise my capital? Before you start going to expensive places to loan money, think of your personal savings. Look, start saving. If you are adults in this space, you should have started developing some savings. It doesn't matter how much you put aside every period, just put it aside because you're going to eventually need it. Personal savings, selling your personal properties, another way of raising funds. Sometimes we purchase things we don't need because of pressure, because of either pressure from family, pressure from peers. No, some things you have can be sold right now to start your business. One of my mentors, he's now late, Sonny Ojobasi, that started Complete Football in those days and Success Digest. He started his business by selling his camera. He went abroad and bought a camera, one of his abroad trips, so a journalist. And that's how he started his big enterprise that developed, that affected so many lives. He sold his personal property. Private lending from family and friends. If you've damaged all your relation with your family and friends, how will you get this money? They borrowed you 10,000, you not pay. Your credit history is poor. That's why they're not giving you 100,000. So right now, make up your mind that integrity is going to be your middle name. People will not give funds to people that you tried before. And they've been trying you since, but you've been failing them. So change. Pay people back the money they've given you so that when the opportunity comes for you to take money from them again, they give it to you and you pay them back. Show them how they can even invest in that business. Family and friends can give you money. We hear of sometimes when ex-jam give money to people to start business and they fail. It's very sad and it's very disheartening. I like to encourage anyone that can still give people money to sit down with them, structure a way they're going to pay, put safety things in place, but still give people, be an angel investor in people's businesses. It will help them to grow. Isisu thrifts corporate schemes, partnerships, constituting a board of directors. If you have board of directors, they can even invest in that business. When you show them a good business plan, angel investors, borrowing against assets, investment, property, mutual funds, third-party guarantors. For example, you want to buy goods in the market, but you want to sell clothes, but you have an auntie that sells clothes, but you don't have the money. She can stand as a guarantor for you. She says, look, this is my cousin. Give him these clothes. I'll stand for him. He will pay you back. If anything happens, I'll pay you back. These are some of the ways to. I started a business about 5 years ago, selling products in Utako markets, selling kitchen products, from microwaves to pots to pans to so many things. I had a shop in Utako, a proper shop. I did not buy any of those things. All I did was rent the shop. I had someone that stood as a guarantor for me, and she stood and she brought in all these goods from a wholesaler in Wuse Market, and they stocked my shop entirely. And that's how that multi-million naira business started. By having a third-party guarantor. Look at credit financing, international grants. I mentioned earlier, there is a lady that is going to teach us on this. I'll share her link. You can contact her. You can get grants for anything in this world. Crowdfunding, launching, sponsorships, business promotion. So the first step is to raise capital. The next step after that is to write down a soft start date, including an exit strategy if you're currently employed. It's a soft start date. You can also make it a hard start date. When it happened for me, I put a date when I was going to leave my company. I put it down. On that day, I wrote my letter. Mine was not a soft start, mine was a hard start. I drove out of my company. I was working for Catches then. I drove out of my company. I got to that traffic light that is near Barnex, and I realized that I didn't have anywhere to go to. I could either go left or right or forward or backward, because I did not put some things in place. But you can do that. You can have an exit plan, an exit strategy plan. Start developing relationships with people. Start training yourself. In that industry you are in, start learning how they do that. If you want to do something similar, though I don't encourage you to start immediately copying your boss's business, because that's unfair. But you can begin to, if you're going to do something that is not exactly like his, or you can even learn about management styles from, see yourself wherever you're working as somebody that is in school learning salary. Don't see it as your lifetime. Oh, my career is I like, what they call it, what's that thing they call it, a career job, or what they call it again. That's not, they don't exist anymore. Go to school in that place you're working and be earning a salary. That salary is your allowance. Learn everything there. Learn management, learn marketing, learn how your boss manages clients, learn how he deals with problems, learn how he recruits people, learn how he buys products, learn how he does logistics. Just in that place, minus doing that thing you're doing as a line worker, learn how to run a business. Next step, write down a sub-study. Next step is market your solution. That business you have, begin to explore marketing, either on packaging, either branding, begin to practice your craft, begin to do it, even if it's for free. Start exploring that thing you're doing, start experimenting it, start doing it, start pushing it forward. Just keep doing it, just start. The next step is build networks and data of networks. As you're doing this thing small, start gathering information. Who are you doing it with? Their names, their numbers. Data is king. Don't look. I see people that are running small businesses. They've had in a year, they've had 100, 200 people that have passed through their business. I ask them, all these people that have passed through your business, do you have their numbers? No. Do you have their email? No. Do you have their family names? No. Do you know where they live? No. How many children do they have? You don't know. When is their birthday? You have no idea. Man, you don't know that data is king. Data, this social media that we're all pressing our phone to, all that social media is doing is getting data. All the things they are doing, you are the product. You are the data. They give you those things for free because you are the product. Data is king. When any business people do with you, hug them, get their phone numbers, get their email, get their social addresses, get their family names, get their birthdays, their wife's birthday, their children's birthdays. Build those kind of social networks that bond you. Make them 5-star customers. Call them all the time. Create data systems that manages existing and potential customers. Inform your mentors, inform your family, inform your friends on your takeoff day. And the final step I mentioned here is to start. After you've done your soft starts or your mini starts or your practice starts, break the initial inertia. After the ball is set in motion, it begins to roll. The law of inertia states that if a body is at rest or moving at a constant speed in a straight line, it will remain at rest or keep moving in a straight line at a constant speed unless it is acted upon by a force. Be that force. You've been staying still for too long. Break your initial inertia. Break it. You've been dreaming for too long. Start. You've been planning for too long. Start. Nothing will happen. Years will just, some of you, as I'm talking to you, I know that idea has been in your head since. You've been thinking about it. You see, look, ideas are not personal. You will see that idea that you refuse to do 5 years time, you will see somebody doing the exact same thing. Exactly. I'm sure some of you have experienced it. Break your initial inertia. Start it. 8 reasons that are within our control why businesses fail. So you've started the businesses. What are the kind of things that make businesses fail? Number 1, lack of visions, values, proper planning, and corporate culture. This is why some businesses that start in Nigeria, they said about 50 to 75% of businesses fail once they start. These are the reasons why they fail. And all these things are within your control, nothing to do with government. Lack of vision, values, planning, corporate culture. Corporate culture. Your account is the same as your business account. It's the same as the company. The corporate culture there is that of informality, no structures, no systems, nothing in place, no growing. Number 2, procrastination. You're meant to do something, you don't do it. You keep procrastinating. Lack of taking aggressive action. You must be someone that is always consistent on your feet, thinking. Like I said, the first actions to take in business is mental. As an entrepreneur, as the owner of a business, you must constantly be thinking. Refusal to grow, over-conservatism, and embracing mediocrity. Never think you're old. Never think that, look, one of the things I do, I am surrounded by Gen Zs. People complain about, I love where people say there is problem. I go there. I'm surrounded by Gen Zs. I'm learning the future from them. If all your friends are in your age bracket, that's why you're not progressing. That's why when you do designs in construction, you go to the site, people are listening to you, they're not understanding why you're talking old school. You're a dinosaur because you've surrounded yourself with fellow dinosaurs. Surround yourself with young people. It will affect your health. It will affect the way you look, the way you dress, the way you talk. Your energy levels will change. The way you think, a refusal to grow, over conservatism, embracing it will kill your business. Poor leadership ability. Go and learn about leadership. I don't have the time. We went to a military school to understand about leadership. Lack of financial management. This one is what finishes many people. You start earning, you start chopping. Oh my God. To finish you. You must learn to delay gratification. You must learn to save these things you want to do. London will always be there. Paris will always, it's not our parents, our grandparents saw Paris. Our parents saw Paris. You've seen Paris. Your children will see Paris. Paris is not going anywhere. Not going. That thing you want to eat immediately, you start earning money. Starve yourself. Delay gratification. Lack of submission to mentors. Lack of staying power. These are how to start your business. And I'll just round up quickly. I don't have time. I'm going to do this in 5 minutes. How to scale your business after you've grown your business. Scaling is the process of increasing business revenue and impact at a faster rate than operating costs. So scaling means growing with efficiency. Key components of scaling. I don't have the time for this. I can share it if you have an opportunity. I can share a slide on it later so we can look at it. Systems. The number one factor for scaling any business is creating a system that enables that business to run without you being in the picture. Systems. It's like a body system. The organics, what's it called? The pancreatic system, the reproductive system, all the systems that have the breathing system, the circulatory system, all those things we have in our body. That's how big organizations function. Create systems, structured procedures that enable consistent performance. Even if it's a small business now, begin to be system-oriented when you're starting your business. Even if it starts with just you, look forward to the time when you have an HR, marketing manager, logistics manager, personnel manager, COO, COO, head of marketing, head of business development, head of this one. Create a business that you can step away from in a couple of years' time and you still be running excellently and producing results. I was in a meeting today and I saw the owner of Tara Cosmetics, and I bought her book today, 25,000 naira, when she talked about how to move away from your business and have it still running. She has run that Tara business for 25 years. She has stepped away and handed the business over to her first CEO, and the business is making more money than it was when she was even there because she built systems. The book is all about systems, how to build. I'll share the title of the book with us on our forum so you can actually go to Amazon and buy it. I bought it live today because she was where I was today and she signed the book for me as I bought it and took a picture. The number one key to scaling your business is developing systems. Number two key is delegation, the transfer of responsibility and authority to competent individuals. Start your business with a mindset of transferring responsibility, of delegation. You must get to the point where when your customers don't see you and they see the people that work with you, they are comfortable working with them. If they must see you for them to give money, for them to give business, for them, there's still a problem with your business. It's not scaled. That's the reason why banks are the way they are. You walk into Zenith in Abakaliki, Zenith in Adamawa, Zenith in Lafia, Zenith in Rudu, Zenith in Oyo, somewhere in Oyo, Zenith. They're all the same in Mowe. They're all the same because they've developed systems, they've delegated authority. The one that the manager in Lagos has duplicated himself to be like the manager in Abuja, in Mowe, in Katsina, in anywhere. So Jimobe does not have to be there for that business to function. Delegation. Learn delegation strategies. Learn how to recruit. Learn how to train. Learn how to mentor. Learn how to give responsibility. Stop doing dirty delegation where you're still overseeing, overlooking. It might start like that, but you shouldn't end like that. Take risk with people. That's why I tell us that when you start your business, start recruiting people early. Don't be afraid of paying salary. It will come. The pressure is even required for you to grow. But it will help you to learn mentorship. It will help you to learn how to recruit. You will make a few mistakes, but it's good. You learn how to not employ your relations unless they're properly educated. You learn how to attend interviews. You don't just employ people that you just love. They look nice. They look pretty. You won't just do that. The next thing to scaling is technology. The application of tools and systems to improve efficiency. That is technology. The other one is partnership. The other one is sorry. I'm trying to get this thing out of my way. Product. The next one is strategic partnerships. Collaborative relationships that create mutual value. Very important. Almost every business that I started, all the big names you hear, Microsoft, all those Alibaba, all those car companies, none of them started by themselves. So almost all of them are partnerships. It's in Nigeria that everybody wants to do Okonkwo and Sons. Abroad is partnerships. Partnerships. So if you're not into partnerships now, when you're scaling your business, you have to start considering partnerships. Lose that name. Lose that family thing that is tying that business down. Only your brother, your sister, your wife, your uncle is working there. You will not grow. Get people from outside. Become accountable to them, to a board. Get people that are bringing money to that business you're going to be answerable to. That's how you that's how you scale your business. And my final thoughts, economic depression does not destroy opportunities. It redistributes them. Money has not changed hands. The way the world is supposed to work, even though it doesn't work exactly like that too, is that the money we have in this world, nobody is printing more money. They're not necessarily printing additional money. That's why when the last administration was printing money, it was a problem. You're not supposed to print money. So money in a system does not necessarily, in a system, you don't print additional money in the system. You can get money from outside into the system, but you don't in that system print new money. So what happens is that the money is distributed. So sometimes some people have it, then it moves, and it moves, and it moves, and it moves, and it moves. It's a redistribution that happens. That's why sometimes people from this place will have it and it moves, which is not exactly how it's supposed to be. But you need to understand that the money is in the system. You need to just know how to get. That's why it's called currency. The word currency is from the root word current. And current talks about water. It flows. Money flows. Wealth flows. You need to just position yourself where it's flowing to and collect from it. Economic depression does not destroy opportunities. Rather, it redistributes them. Those who understand changing realities, identify emerging needs, and position themselves strategically. And that's how they often create extraordinary wealth during extraordinary times. Thank you very much. That's
Okay,
all.
thank you very much, sir. Sorry. So I thought you were done. So go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the presentation, sir. I think now we'll take questions. So if we have any questions, you can just raise up your hand.
I hope you got something from the training. I hope it was interesting. I hope people learned stuff. I hope it was they got their money's not money's worth, because it's more or less free training. Their time's worth for the training.
I believe so. Okay, Oga Michael, go ahead. So I can just unmute and share your questions.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Augusta. So mine is actually not a question. I've listened attentively from the very beginning all through to the end. I just want to really appreciate the value that you've provided today, because this is actually supposed to be a paid session. I've attended sessions like this that I've had to pay good money for. So I just want to appreciate you for all that you've shared today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the encouragement. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sorry, Oga Zaradin, go ahead.
Hello, okay. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, sir, for giving us a very elaborative and motivating and empowering lectures. So mine is the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Sir, if you could remember when you were giving us the various steps of is it starting a business? You started
Yes.
by saying you should think and generate an idea. Then
Yes.
you should plan. Then you develop a team.
Yes.
Then you generate capital. You emphasize that there's no point in generating capital without developing a team, planning, and having an idea.
Okay.
The fifth step is what I didn't get.
Okay. Let me go back. I said plan, develop your team. I said raise capital. Then I said write down a soft start date, and which includes developing an exit strategy. Yeah.
Okay, that's one I didn't get.
Yeah, that's it. Then the next one is market your solution, then build networks and data of networks, then start. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can I make a comment?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Air Commodore Stephanus, retired. Walter. Yeah, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Okay, Walter, thank you so much for a painstaking lecture. It's been very insightful, and like the earlier speaker said, pay a lot of money. Some people are on YouTube just to get a little chunk of what you have given us this evening. I think we are full of appreciation. Mine, from what I've seen, everybody understands that there's need for him to get a second stream of income. And therefore, everybody craves for investment. You've mentioned every area that I think ought to be covered. But what I found very challenging, and I know that it stands well, is issue of mentorship. I'm telling you, it's not everything you read and it's not everything you see. If you're able to identify a mentor in the area you have chosen, you are halfway there. And you wanted to, or you had promised to give us a platform to bring out where our interests are. I would just want you to take further efforts by trying to let us see, sectorize what people's interests are, and then you have tried to make examples of people that have benefited with these ideas so that we can build around mentorship. It is not everybody who equally trusts you that you don't walk onto him and you want to understand his business. Everybody works with a lot of suspicion these days. So I understand the level you have covered. If you can assist in building mentorship based on the sectors that people are going to come up with. Once again, thank you so much. I deeply appreciate your efforts. And for everybody in the house, I commend all your efforts on coming for this lecture. I don't think anybody has lost anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I think the president has mentioned something like that. I think we're going to start a forum for business people. And like Oga mentioned, mentorship is, we offer on a side, the business we do offer mentorship. But he mentioned that mentorship for different sectors. It's something we can begin to discuss when we sit down. When everybody gives their business, we can create a model for mentorship where we can begin to create a system where even among the exam community, we can mentor ourselves. And then for those that want general mentorship minus the specialized areas, some of us that are into business can actually offer them those services either at a discounted rate or free, wherever it's possible. So we're available for that. And when we create these platforms, I'm more than available to contribute my own quota in seeing that everybody, adds additional streams of income, get out of this rut that many people are inside. And I look forward to sharing some of these things with everybody. Thank you so much, sir, for your encouragement. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Tijani Mukhtar, I can see your hand is up. Okay, well, just hold on. Tijani, let me just add. Okay, I had intended to say this at the end of the meeting, or rather reiterate this. As our speaker said, Oga Walter, has stated, part of our goal in Abuja chapter is actually to have all our business hands together. At the beginning of the year, we had provided a form. The hope was members who had businesses would fill, and from there we would see what support as a chapter we can leverage on within the XJAM community to help support their businesses. Well, that is still ongoing. Unfortunately, only 4 XJAM businesses have filled that form. I think I'll just share it on the chat box here so that some of the business owners here can also fill. But once we have the numbers, even the lecture provided today, our goal as an EXCO is for some of the additional action points, we would like us to have specialized training for those who need it. So at least with Oga's input now, we'll also look if we can add a mentorship dimension to that so that we have well, let's say an all-compassing solution for our members. All right, thank you. Tijani Mukhtar, go ahead. What's your question?
Thank you very much, Babel, for giving me the floor. And Oga Walters, thank you very much. This was extremely insightful. Extremely insightful. And I resonate, sorry. And I resonate very much with it because personally, I am also a business coach. I have over 11, I live in Portugal, and I have over 11 Nigerian businesses that I'm mentoring at the moment. I also just wanted to particularly say before Oga Estefano spoke that there was a very high level need for us to be able to create these channels that, in terms of mentorship, because I also create master classes that I offer. I usually offer those services to people here for free because, it's also very important for us to be able to create these channels. So I just wanted to quickly chip it in that Oga Walters, if whenever you're creating, these channels, these platforms, I will be very much available to support you and see how we can support our XJAM own businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Yes,
much, sir. Really appreciate
thank you,
it. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Oga Walter, one last thing, sir. I saw you mentioned one of the opportunities when you were talking about all the opportunities that we can jump in. So right here in Portugal, my startup, myself and my co-founder, I've also actually created, a rotational savings platform for people in the EU. And of course, we'll be bringing the solution back home. So in the month of July, we should be importing that service that we already came here to build back into the Nigerian system. So thank you very much, sir.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Sorry, thank you once again, Tijani Mukhtar, and thank you, Ogasa. Jonga Yusuf, I can see your hand is up. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. President, Abuja chapter. Good evening, all Ogasas in the chat box, and a very big thank you to the presenter. It has really been very insightful. You mentioned during the presentation that it's important we have other streams of income. I think you mentioned something that had to do with a remote job, which you said you will maybe add context at the ending. So I just wanted to ask about it, and if these opportunities are something, because usually most of us we check on Indeed and something. Maybe if you can give more insights to getting remote jobs to it, to be very helpful. Thank you, sirs.
Yes, I'll share it on the platform. Just some bullet points. So I'll share it today, tomorrow on the platform, so we can all have it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sorry. Yes, sir. Oga Ike Ejere, please go ahead. So I hope I pronounced the name well. Sorry.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
We can hear you, my brother.
Can you hear me?
My provost, my brother, I can hear you.
All right, all right. Walter,
Yes, my brother.
my wonderful and intelligent smart cosmate. I wouldn't live here without chipping in my own bit. Just to give you moral support and the kind of covering fire that you will need in such an operation.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to say well done. Was a great presentation. I joined in late, but I just made sure I had to join in. They say it's better late than never. So it was quite loaded from the bit I was able to catch. And I'm sure every other person in the room would also attest to that fact. It's coming at a very good time, at the point where we are in this country. And I think it's something this presentation is something everybody particularly needs at this time. So I hope we can all leverage on it. Like somebody said earlier, this is the kind of seminar presentations where you pay a lot of money to attend and it's coming for free. And I guess this is one of the benefits of being part of the XJAM family. So it's really it was a very great idea. And kudos to the Abuja chapter, the president in particular, for putting this together. We're kind of jealous, and maybe we'll take a cue for this because I'm from Lagos chapter, but I still made sure I joined. So you guys permit me. Maybe I get crashed, but it was something I just had to attend, and I gained a lot from it.
Very welcome.
Yes, Bala, well done, huh? So what I just want to say, Walter, I'll be making a contribution from the aspect of technology because that's my domain. And what you said in that regard particularly caught my attention. Scaling your business through technology. And never in time in history, in world history, that technology has played a big role, a major role in businesses. And so every business right now needs technology. If you're not using technology for your business, then you're not in business. It's not about it's not an option anymore. It's become a must-have. There are a list of items you put down when you are trying to set up a business. So technology is now a must-have. It's no longer an option. And in the era of digital and AI solutions, we all know where we are with that now. But apart from our private use for things like AI and the rest of them, we can also use it for business. It's a very great business tool. So I'm available, willing to work with you in that regard. I also do some consulting for businesses on how they can use AI and technology, digital tools to scale their businesses, to grow their businesses, and to increase their profitability ratios. So we'll be linking up. I hope we can link up after this and then we can discuss more on that. I also have some ideas for the general XJAM community. I think that will also help us become a very strong unit, strong independent unit, financial independent unit. There's strength in numbers, and I think it's time we start leveraging our numbers. Just like soldiers do in the war front, your numbers determine whether you win a war or not. And then, of course, these days, the kind of weaponry and technology that you deploy. So I think the exam should also adopt those kind of strategies in trying to achieve financial independence and prosperity. So we'll link up after this, definitely. So that's all I have to say now. Kudos, my brother. Eh? Nice one.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Well
My
done
PM,
for
thank
Abuja
you.
chapter.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. And so let me just say, Sir With your permissions, I will also link up after this, sir, because you've mentioned some very interesting topics that we can actually benefit from, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, no problem. No problem.
I think there's a hand
Sorry,
raised.
Adamu Mohammed, your
I
hand
can-
is up.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, sir. I'm not sure he's hearing me. Hello, sir, can you hear me? Adamu
Yes, I
Mohammed.
can hear you. Yes,
Yes,
I
yes,
can hear you. Thank you very much, David. Good evening, my August and everyone. My name is Adamu Mohammed, 92/1538. First of all, I would like to extend gratitude to Oga Walter for the insightful presentation. I joined in late, but for the time that I was in the meeting, I actually got a lot of stuff that I don't know. It has really revived what I've been wanting to do and have been somehow been lackadaisical about it, if I may say. But I'm happy that I joined this meeting and the insights. I mean, it's what I need at this time. So really, I want to express a profound appreciation for this meeting, especially it's coming free of charge and all that. So I mean, this is what is expected we do for each other, especially at this time of depression and all that. So thank you, Oga Walter, for this beautiful presentation. And it is in that regard that I also want to say that I would like to contribute my own 10 kobo to the XJAM community and beyond, if possible. I heard during the presentation agriculture being mentioned as one of the priority areas that one can, invest in at the current time. So I just want to say, for me, I work at an organization called NARSAL. It's quite a mouthful. The full meaning of NARSAL is called Nigeria Incentive Based Sharing System for Agricultural Lending. It's an institution that is 100% owned by the Central Bank of Nigeria. We don't provide direct financing, but we facilitate financing around agriculture. So I just want to extend my, my willingness to anyone who is in agriculture or willing to considering to venture into agriculture, that for us in NARSAL, we can see how we can facilitate financing for anyone that is either expanding his business, or there are innovative ways we can see that we can facilitate financing for agripreneurs. Basically, that is what we do in NARSAL. So I just wanted to put that out there so that if there's anyone who is interested, I'm sure maybe through David or anyone else, we can link up and then we see how we can come in to assist in finance facilitation. I was privileged to have met with Oga Istefanus, Commodore Istefanus, retired a few years ago in my office. And sir, if I may use this opportunity, sir, I just wanted to say, permit me, sir, to reach out to you sometime during the week, if that's okay, sir. It's been a while that we spoke. So I want to use this opportunity to ask for your permission to reach out to you sometime during the week, sir, so that we can do some catching up, if that's okay, sir. So thank you very much. That's all from my own side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the encouragement. Thank you so much for everything. I'll be in touch with you also, and I'm sure David will also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Oga Zaradin, Harry Flo, go ahead. Oga Zaradin, allow me, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I really appreciate what the Abuja chapter has done for us. Thank you very much once more. Oga Walter, thank you very much for giving us this nice presentation. My question is, please, us that are not in Abuja chapter, how are we going to have access to all those slides that he said he's going to share? That's number one. And those other links that are going to assist us, because I'm very, very interested in what Oga Walter presented today. I'm a young entrepreneur who is just starting. So any support that I need, I am very quite sure that it will go a long way in assisting me, because I'm just starting my business. In fact, I'm at the initial stage for now. So that's why I had to cancel all programs that I intend to do today, so that I will get this meeting. And I'm very happy that I attended, and I'm sure those people that did not come for this party, they have missed a lot. So thank you very much once more. And then how can we have access to all the slides he said he's going to make available, and then other links that he's going to give us, Mr. President?
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, we normally record our meetings, and the meeting is available. There's a link. What I will make sure gets done now is, because I know at the end of this to definitely be shared in the chapter group, but I will make sure it also gets shared in the general group. But so let me also say, so for every opportunity, so even the form, I've shared the link for the form for businesses who want, for businesses that we can assist. I've shared the link on the chat. I think everybody should have seen that. So you can even feel that we're not doing only businesses in Abuja kind of thing. No, we actually believe in trying to build the XJAM community. So ultimately, if all of us XJAM are better off, it favors all of us. And for us to truly achieve some of the things we want to achieve, we would need the support, especially for those in agriculture, of chapters outside Abuja. I know the PRD farms that Oga Walter mentioned, his farm is in Benue. So in the end, it's not necessarily locally based. So you can just fill the form, and so we can pick it up from there.
Okay. I'll do that. But you mean the form is in the general group, as in the main group?
No. So I just shared a chat, a form on the chat, this meeting right now. I shared a link in this meeting's chat. Maybe I'll drop it again now. But I shared a link in this meeting's chat. It's actually the form. We had prepared the form for businesses within the XJAM community. Sorry, we had prepared the form for businesses in our chapter originally. Our goal was, okay, there are several opportunities like Oga Walter has mentioned. Aside just training, there are grant opportunities that we believe XJAM in areas like Oga Adam can actually assist our businesses. So we prepared that grant. It's a form of, I think, 10 to 15 questions. Do you have a business? Are you registered? Our goal was, okay, with this information, we can sieve and see the needs of the different business groups. Those that are not yet registered, this is their needs. Those that are registered, but they need a more corporate governance structure, this is their need. Those that are organized and their main problem is just scaling, this is their need. So from breaking them down to those different categories, then we can now find solutions from within our community that would be able to tend to a lot of those needs. It's just to add to what has been said before from the previous speakers, I genuinely believe that this is our time as an association to actually leverage on many of these opportunities. There are XJAM in positions that are able to facilitate or help get grants, aside Nisha that Oga has mentioned. So, but it's important for us to be able to do the paperwork, because nobody will give you money just because you're an XJAM. It does not even make sense. But if your business documentation is the standard, what is expected, then we know that if we can meet an Oga and say, Oga, one of our own applied here, he is in a stronger position to assist than when it looks like ideally you are not qualified. And even if the help he's offering is just, okay, before you apply, you can bring it, let me go through and confirm that it meets our standards. That too is a plus. But this is truly our time. If we use the resources available within us, I believe we will really go a long way in assisting ourselves and building a stronger financial community.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. That's a
Thank
very
you,
good
August.
idea.
Sorry, do we have any more questions?
I've seen the form, sir. I will do fill it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so let me also encourage everyone that has not filled, even if you have not started your business, even if you just have an idea, please just go ahead and fill the form. We'll see where we can. So we have your information and we'll be able to at least place you in a group when we start talking about mentorship. Mentorship is a new idea that just came up from this meeting. We'll discuss with the EXCOs and see how we can truly harness that. Once again, on behalf of the EXCO, on behalf of the chapter, we have to say thank you very, very much to Oga Walter for agreeing to take up this assignment and for sharing tidbits. I think I saw someone's hand. Okay, it's not, it's a thumbs up. And for sharing his bits of knowledge with us. The truth is, most of what. Okay, let me finish what I'm saying. August, I will give you the floor as soon as I'm done what I'm saying. Most of what he has shared is not adequate. He has just given us like an overview, and there's always that need for us to go deeper on certain aspects. So let me also say here, I had graciously asked him, because I had asked him to identify some of the courses and see if we can get our businesses here, and he had also indulged us and said he would be willing to handle additional training for the businesses based on the needs that we can identify and the courses offered by his organization. I'm happy we've had additional coaches here today. We've identified them and we'll see how we can take advantage of the offerings from everyone. Oga sir. So I can just go ahead and say what you want to say. So I'll fire round up. Hello, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So I just wanted to respond to
sorry, sir. Your voice is really low.
Okay. Are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yes. It's a lot clearer now, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to make a comment which I think would benefit all of us regards to that. One of the industries or sectors where a few suggestions and recommendations have come from, which is agriculture. I wanted to say something about how that relates to the current situation in the country vis-a-vis the insecurity menace and all of that. In northern Nigeria particularly, we've seen the kind of security challenges that a lot of farmers have faced. Probably dating back 10 years, and how that has greatly and negatively impacted on agricultural yield, which has also impacted all corners of the country, because agricultural products from the north go to every part of the country, including the south. So for those intending or who are already in the agri sector, I'm looking at how do they surmount this challenge, or how do we even help, or what's the solution regards them? Because for now, what we need to look at is safe farming. Farmers need to look at safe farming. Those in agriculture need to look at how they can practice their business without any hindrances or fear of, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. How do those in that sector surmount that challenge? How do they overcome that challenge? And are there alternative means or ways they can employ to surmount that challenge and to do better at what they do? So I think that's an angle we also need to look at it from. That's just all I wanted to say.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. If we don't have any additional contributions, I think I've said my thank you. I cannot say thank you enough to our speaker, Oga Walter. The next chapter event, I think, is supposed to be a general meeting. No, the next chapter event is a general meeting on Sunday. It will be shared on the group, I think 21st of June, not 21st or 28th, but it will be shared on the group. There's also going to be a talk on that day. We want to talk about planning. We have an exam that has volunteered to talk about planning your estate. So we'll encourage members to try and attend. That's a physical meeting. Aside that, I'm not sure. I don't think we have any more announcements. So with that, I think I can close our meeting. Yes, with that, I can close the meeting for today. Thank you once again to everybody for attending, for taking our time to attend. We will share the recording, the link to the recording, the slides, and all of the materials. Well, later today, as soon as we can upload it to the necessary platforms, it will be shared later today, both on the chapter WhatsApp group and on the general WhatsApp group, so that members that are not in the chapter WhatsApp group will have access. So once again, thank you, everyone, and have a good night. Okay.